Good evening, members of council, members of staff, and those in the audience and those joining us online. Thank you for joining us this evening for our regular council meeting for Wednesday, April the 23rd. I'd like to let you know that this meeting is being audio and video recorded and live streamed on the Town of Innisfil's YouTube channel and shall form part of the public record, which will be retained in accordance with the town's retention bylaw. A few housekeeping issues. If you have your cell phone on, if you could please set it to mute or silent, that would be wonderful. And the facilities, if you need them, are just out that door and around the corner. We have quorum. We did have regrets from Councillor Zanella this evening, but we'll proceed with the opening of the meeting, and I'll ask Councillor Saunders to deliver the land acknowledgement statement, please.
The town of Innisfil acknowledges that Innisfil is situated on treaty lands that is steeped in rich Indigenous history. The town also acknowledges that this land is the traditional territories of the first people of Turtle Island. It is shared between the Anishinaabe people of Beausoleil, First Nation Chippewa of Rama First Nation, and Chippewa of Georgina First Island First Nation, and we thank them for generations of stewardship. This meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people, and as settlers, we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. The town acknowledges the forced sacrifices that are the foundation of Canadian society today. We are dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect with all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit.
Thank you so much, Councillor Saunders. Next, we'll go to open forum. And we have a few people signed up for open forum. Open forum provides a 2-minute opportunity for the public to speak on any agenda item appearing on tonight's agenda. So the first person that I would invite to the podium, please, is Denny Mainville, and he's going to speak on the Innisfil Transit Hub at the Royal Canadian Legion. Denny, whenever you're ready.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, and guests, and comrades. My name is Dennis Mayville. I'm the president of Innisfil Branch 547, and I'm here to advocate for the inclusion of the Legion of Innisfil in the town's community transit hub planning. As a cornerstone of support for veterans, seniors, and the broader community, the Legion plays an important role in our town's well-being, and yet the town staff current position would be to exclude the Legion from the transit network due to its location in what they consider a low-density area where they anticipate limited demand. With respect, there is a fundamental flaw in this logic. Staff analysis is based on the existing transit patterns, especially those tied to work communities, commutes, and frequently commercial areas. But this data cannot accurately predict demands for services that are currently underutilized due to the lack of access. It's a classic case that if you build it, they will come. The Legion is already a lifetime for many, but for its full potential is capped by transportation barriers. Seniors, veterans, and those without vehicles often want to participate in programs and events, but simply can't get there. To base transit planning solely on historically usage ignores this unmet need and limits the town's ability to grow equitably access for all residents, not just those traveling to and from work and shopping. The Royal Canadian Legion is not just a gathering place. It's a growing community asset offering support services. We offer meal, social connections, and a space safe for those of some of the most vulnerable citizens. Any of our population gauge the demand for inclusive, accessible community spaces is only increased. By including the Legion in the transit hub, the town would be making a proactive investment in equity, access, and community resilience. If we
Dennis, if I
continue-
could ask you to wrap it up,
Yes.
because you're
Yeah.
well over your 2
So,
minutes.
with respect, urge decision makers to look beyond density maps, ridership stats, and see the bigger picture. The Innisfil Legion observes to be part of this vision, not just because what it becomes, but because it's with the proper support, and that's my report.
Thank you very much, Dennis. I apologize for cutting you off, but it's my job to keep our procedural bylaw in check and make it fair for everyone. So thank you. Next is Carleen Doyle, and it's on the same topic.
Good evening, Mayor, councillors, staff, guests, and comrades. My name is Carleen Doyle, and I am the branch secretary for Branch 547 in Innisfil. I'm here to champion the involvement of the Innisfil Legion in the municipality's planning for the community transit hub, a key pillar of support for veterans, seniors, retired first responders, and the wider community. The Legion plays an increasingly crucial role in overall well-being of our town. However, the current stance of the town staff is to omit the Legion from the transit network due to its location in what they perceive a low-density area and expected limited demand. Respectfully, there's a fundamental flaw in this reasoning. The staff's analysis is founded on current transit usage patterns, specifically those related to work commutes and popular commercial areas. Yet this data cannot accurately forecast the demand for services. They are presently being underutilized due to limited accessibility. It is a classic case of you build it, they will come. The Legion already serves as a vital link for many individuals and their families, but its complete potential is hidden by transportation obstacles. A small number of residents without access to vehicles often wish to participate in various programs for events at the Legion, but are unable to do so due to transportation constraints. Relying solely on past usage for transit planning overlooks this unmet necessity and hampers the town's ability to enhance equitable access for all residents, not only those commuting to work or going shopping. Legions serve as a vital community centers that provide support for veterans and offer a variety of programs of youth and seniors, as well as organizing community events. These programs, in addition to serving as transit hub, provides numerous benefits, including reducing isolation, boosting participation, alleviating stress for families, convenient transportation, safe and reliable, flexible scheduling, affordable options, accessibility friendly, enhanced emergency readiness. The town of Innisfil is home to 43,000 residents, with 16% of the population being seniors, totaling around 7,000 elderly individuals. By implementing services such as Uber at key locations like the Legion, it could greatly benefit this demographic group. Offering convenient transportation options would make it more accessible for seniors in Innisfil to reach social events and Legion comfortability. This initiative has the potential to enhance the quality of life for seniors and foster a more connected and inclusive community as a whole. The estimated cost of providing this service by the town of Innisfil ranges between $12,000 and $20,000. However, considering that Legion is frequented by around 20 or so veterans and their spouses, its actual cost to taxpayers is expected to be minimal. Recognizing the long-term benefits and cost-effectiveness of offering accessible transportation options for seniors, veterans, and residents is essential. By establishing a transit hub at the Legion, Innisfil would not only fulfill the immediate transportation needs of a portion of the senior population, but also Belle Ewart community and the patrons attending Belle Ewart Hebrew Center, whereas the Morgan Russell Community Center serves to the Lefroy residents. Furthermore, the proposed utilization of Uber vouchers is seen as a burdensome by residents in the town who are living on fixed incomes. Residents may not have the financial leeway to afford transportation expenses beyond the designated voucher,
Arlene, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, 3.5 minutes.
having to acquire Uber vouchers from town introduces our accept process, which can be confusing.
I'm sorry. I
It's
hate
okay.
cutting people off.
No,
I
it's
hate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mehdi, please. Whenever you're ready, sir.
$31,000. $31,000 is what we raised in poppy funds. $26,500 is what the Legion gave back to this town. We gave that to the schools. We gave that to the hospital funds. We gave that to the food banks. We gave back to senior support. $4,000 of that went to veterans. The rest went to support everybody else. Are you kidding me? You'll do the right thing.
Thank you for your passion and thank you for being so succinct. That's the end of the open forum. So we'll now go to approval of the agenda, please. We have one amendment to the agenda, which is one addition. And a mover and a seconder, please, to approve the agenda. Moved by Councillor Drudge, seconded by Councillor Richardson. All those in favor? That is carried. Next, we'll go to disclosures of interest. Now I'd ask members who have a disclosure of interest to please declare. Councillor Drudge.
I have a pecuniary interest indirect for C4.
If you could just state the nature of your conflict, please.
I'm a voting affiliate with the Legion.
Thank you, Councillor Richardson.
I am also the same, that I am a member of the executive of the Legion for item C4.
Thank you, Councillor Councillor Constantine.
I'm also a member of the Royal Canadian Legion.
And Councillor Saunders.
I am a member of the Legion as well.
Welcome to small town Ontario. I would like to declare a conflict, pecuniary interest tonight, non-direct, as I am also a member of Legion 547. This is an unusual situation. There's only 3 members that are not members of council that are not Legion members. I will let you know that we did speak to our integrity commissioner this evening on this item, and just wanted to ask the clerk if she could quickly explain how the procedure will work on that item.
Thank you, Mayor Dolan. When council members are not able to participate because they have made a declaration of interest, the quorum can be recalculated as per the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. So that being said, 3 members will make up quorum. So 2 members would be required to vote in favor for an item to carry and move forward.
Thank you. So that's any other declarations of conflict on any other items? Seeing none, we'll go to presentation and petitions, which we have none. So we'll move to delegations by members of the public, and that would be Mr. Henny Roosum from Friday Harbor. Welcome whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Okay, good evening, Madam Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and members of council. We thank you for the opportunity to address you tonight in connection with our permit application for the 2025 season, which requests an exemption for the same days and times previously approved by you last year. As you probably know, after the issuance of last year's permit, we worked very closely with the town's bylaw office to develop a noise mitigation and complaint protocol satisfactory to the town. And on this note, I just want to really express our gratitude to the town staff, Ms. Lee and Mr. Mitchell, throughout the process. They've been so professional, so diligent, so collaborative. And I think that made a huge difference in us managing the issue at hand. We were able to implement this protocol in the 2024 season and can comfortably say that it worked very successfully. At all times, outdoor amplified music and other sounds from the resort were on average at 59.1 decibel range, well below the town's 90 decibel threshold, which is used to define noise in the town's bylaw. As a result of the implementation of these protocols, at At no time did music or other sound from resort events reach the 90 decibel threshold. This was tested through surprise proactive visits by the town bylaw staff on 26 occasions through the spring, summer, and fall. This represents almost half of all dates to which the permit applies. Sound emanating from the resort was at all time determined to be acceptable, with the protocols operating appropriately and with no need for any modification. Friday Harbor was notified of a few complaints by town staff about music from Friday Harbor on dates where events were scheduled, and they were listed in the appendix. On receipt of these calls, the noise complaint protocol was actively and effectively implemented. As noted in the staff report, the resort immediately cooperated with and responded to bylaw staff, including taking our own decibel measurements, all of which were under the 70 decibel level during these occurrences. In all instances, town bylaw officers determined that the music and other sounds from the resort were reasonable and no further action or changes to the protocol were required. The protocols established in collaboration with the town actually worked. We're committed to following the same protocol this year and to continue to work with the town staff to ensure a successful 2025 resort season. We therefore ask the town to approve the recommendation in the staff report and issue the noise exemption permit as outlined in option 1 for the 2025 season. I'd be pleased to answer any questions that you might all have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rolston. Questions or comments? Councillor Saunders.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Hi, Annie. We just want to let you know with our conversation the other day, further to that on Mondays of the long weekends, I just want to make it as a public record that I have asked that you just not have a DJ on those days, but you have the music going, which is great. I just to give the residents a little bit of a reprieve. Is that possible? And one other small one, which is sort of along the lines with the noise complaints, could you guys look into having drones for the fireworks?
All right, Councillor Saunders, thank you so much for the 2 points that you made. I would like to really confirm to you that on Mondays of long weekends, we do not have any music playing, i.e. no DJ and no bands. The only music playing on those days is really house music, literally, just speaker within the, so I hope that would provide the opportunity that you just described there. As it pertains to the drone show, it's a very valid point. I just want you to know that we looked into it and we're trying to really assess also the financial commitment and requirement for that. It's a little bit different than the normal fireworks that we do, but suggestions so well taken, and we'll try to really work on that and incorporate it in our yearly plan. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, Councillor Ices?
Just a comment. I would like to congratulate you and with the collaboration with town staff on this, which was quite a contentious issue. I know last year when we talked about this permit, the chairs were pretty full, and we don't see that today. So that speaks quite a bit to the process that's happened, and I want to thank you for working through that issue.
Councillor Asses, I really want to thank you for your comment and for acknowledging and recognizing the difference. The approach is always to look for solutions. We're here to really listen to our community members, whether within the Friday Harbor or the larger community. We always want to be, positive, collaborative community members, and I'm happy that working with Ms. Lee and with Ms. Mitchell, we're able to really put a protocol that is effective. Thank you, Councillor Saunders, for your input and suggestion on that process as well. And I'm very happy that we're standing today. And I'm really looking forward for a great summer season and, making the best out of the 3-4 months ahead of us.
Anyone else have any questions or comments regarding this item? Seeing none, I want to thank you for your presentation, and a little bit off topic, but I would also like to thank the community of Friday Harbor for opening up the showers when we had residents in Big Bay Point without hydro for many, many days. So thank you for being part of the community and being there for your neighbors.
Okay, Madam Mayor, thank you so much also for acknowledging that fact. It was a little bit of a tough few days on all of us as a community members. And the soonest that we came to know that some community members from the larger Big Bay Point community did not have power yet, community members from Friday Harbor reached out to me and some other team members, and we're very happy to be able to support. And many of the community members who were able to really take advantage of the facilities were very happy and appreciative. And that speaks to the spirit of our larger community, really. So thank you for acknowledging that. And the idea is to always do whatever we can, whenever we can, to really support each other, and as we should all do. Thank you.
Thank you. The resolution is on the screen that the delegation be received. A mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Deputy Mayor Fowler, seconded by Councillor Constantine. All those in favor? That is carried.
Perfect.
Thank you very much,
everyone.
Thank you. That takes us to item 7, which is a place where members of council who've been appointed by council to different associations, municipal associations or committees can bring us up to date on those. Councillor Richardson.
We had our library board meeting last night. We had a presentation by Max Lupo about a new initiative that's been started. It's an Indigenous medicine garden. They've partnered with a local Indigenous lady who's been working on it. So tentatively, the grand opening will be June 28th. So keep your eye out for that. What else they also shared with us that was part of that Indigenous medicine garden, they actually received a grant, a TD grant that was just over $8,000. And then it sparked a bit of a conversation between all of us on the board just to see how much the library itself has gotten in grants. And so they shared that it was over $200,000 that they've been able to get for different grants and initiatives that have been able to be run at the library. And I think that was really great that they were able to do that. So that's it.
Thank you for that. Councillor Saunders.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Accessibility Board is in full swing into the schools, and we are in them for the next 6 weeks straight. So if anybody wants to volunteer, it'd be great. And we're also looking for a member to join the Innisfil Accessibility Committee. Information is available on the town website, and the deadline is April 25th, 25 to apply. So come and join us.
Thank you so much. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Your Worship. It seems to be a theme as of late, but we're losing members to our committees because they're moving on to bigger and better things. We have on the Heritage Advisory Committee, we wish Leslie Sterling well. She's applied for a position and received it. She's going to be moving up 2.5 hours west of Thunder Bay to a town called Ignace, I think it is, Ignis, sorry. And she's going to be the clerk and the treasurer for that community. So she's helping establish what we have here on a smaller scale. So we're going to miss her very much. As of May 1st, we will be opening up for a new seat on the Heritage Advisory Committee. So we look forward to seeing who applies. On the county council level, yesterday we voted on the composition of county council from 32 and 1 down to 17. It passed. And the next step is in a triple majority process is for all the towns in the county to write a letter supporting or not supporting the change to the bylaw. So if we have, out of the 32 communities, an equal vote of letters from for and against, then it will die on the floor and it will not go any further. However, it will be coming to our clerks who will be, presenting it to council in the near future. Moving forward, we need 17 of the 32 towns to support the change to move on to the third step of a triple majority. As well, due to the fact, with the weighted vote, as I explained before, in certain communities, they have larger amounts of people, residents, so they have a higher weighted vote. So for example, the mayor and I have 8 each at county council when it comes to a weighted vote, whereas the smaller communities do not. So what ended up occurring was the smaller communities are concerned because in a situation where there's a very heated debate, sometimes the mayor and the deputy mayor of a specific town will not agree. So one will vote yay, one will vote nay, and the votes will cancel each other out in the weighted vote. However, if it's one person representing a community, it makes it a far more concrete vote than anything else. So there were numerous requests to review the weighted vote of the county's bylaw coming up in the future. That will be done as well. So it's going to be an interesting time in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll go to you in 1 second, Councillor, but I just, Deputy Mayor, wanted to, fun fact, so Ignis, where the lady is moving to, is going to be the home of the nuclear waste deposit, deep earth deposit for all of Canada. So it's going to be a very busy place over the next few years. So she's going to be a busy lady. Also on the composition issue at County Council, the Governance Committee will be meeting to talk about the weighted vote next week. So more to come on that. And it's actually a resolution from each council, not a letter of support that has to come forward. So this council will be deciding whether or not you think that County Council should be 32 or 16 seats. So coming soon. Thank you. Councillor Ices.
Thank you, Worship. Just some news from the Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority. We recently were looking for a new CAO. So the hiring process is finished, and we are happy to welcome Miss Jennifer Vincent to be the new CAO of Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority. She has over 25 years of experience in senior roles from the federal public service, and she brings a wealth of experience in environmental science, policy, and management. So the NVCA is excited to have new leadership moving forward.
Thank you, Councillor. I have just a few. So I attended a police services board meeting today. We welcomed our new deputy chief who started yesterday. His name is Deputy Chief Chris Landry, and we welcomed him. He'll be shadowing with our retiring deputy chief, Cheryl Sutton, for a week. So her last day will be next Wednesday. We did have a swearing-in ceremony for 4 new recruits last week, and they are with their coach officers now and learning about our community. And we also had service recognition awards that many of you were able to attend, which recognizes special services, outstanding service awards, also years of service. So that was well attended. I attended an AMO executive committee meeting, and as you might guess, it's a lot of tariff talk. We're also gearing up for what we think will be a very busy session of the government before they adjourn for the summer, and being prepared for the AMO conference in Ottawa in August. And I think the deputy mayor's covered everything at County Council, so that's it for section 7. So now we'll move on to the consent list items. So we're going to go through each of the items that are in our agenda. All of the items come with a staff report. If council are happy with the staff report and have no questions, then we won't pull them, and they'll simply be confirmed at the end of the meeting. But of course, anything that gets pulled to committee of the whole, we can have further discussion on those items and then confirm everything with the confirmatory bylaw at the end of the meeting. So the first item on the consent list is our special council meeting minutes dated March the 19th. Council meeting minutes dated March 26th. B1, that would be the Innisfil Heritage Advisory Committee meeting. B2, the Innisfil Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting. C1, the noise exemption request from Friday Harbor. Councillor Saunders.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't want to pull it. I just have a question for bylaw. Here he comes. Thanks, Mitch. I just wanted to make sure that you guys are going to continue doing the proactive drop-bys with Friday Harbor during the summer like you did last year. just to help mitigate some of the sound noises.
Manager Harris.
Thank you, through your worship, to Councillor Saunders. Yes, so we will, we will establish that same patrol as last year. So in addition to responding to complaints, we'll conduct those proactive patrols.
Any other questions on that item? Seeing none, we'll go to item C2, the 2025 final tax levy bill bylaw. I just had one question on this, if I might. And I did have a phone call from somebody who'd recently moved here from Vaughan. And in Vaughan, they have their, they have the interim tax bill and then the final tax bill. But instead of being divided into two, they're divided into three. And wondered if we would consider such approach. I did tell her she could sign up for the monthly withdraw, but I just wondered if that's something we've considered in the past or in the future.
Thank you, Your Worship. It is not something we've explored previously, but now that things are getting more expensive, this is a 5.5% increase with this this year, which is $276 over the average residential home. It is something that has come up in conversation to explore in future levy bylaws to implement or see council's opinion on a 3 or 4 tax installment due date. Yes.
Thank you for that. Anyone else? Seeing none, item C3, the community benefit charges update. We have staff here from virtually from Hemson's, if anyone has a question on that report. Seeing none, C4, the Innisfil Transit Hub at Royal Canadian Legion, Branch 547, Councillor Waters.
I'd like to pull that, please.
C5, the staff report at Killarney Beach Road, Church Drive and Pine Avenue servicing costs. I just want to thank staff, Ms. Crane and staff from finance for all the hard work on this item and for giving the opportunity to get refunds for people for the connection cost, I think was very much appreciated. And I think now that have that new policy going forward, I think we'll have a much smoother ride in the future. Seeing no other comments, item C6 is the street naming for Innisfil Beach Road and Five Side Road. And C7, that would be the class 1 variation to the community planning permit system, our Shores bylaw. And all the Ds. So we have D1, the planning application status update. I just want to say that that is an excellent resource. I'm going to keep that as a separate item on my computer. So when people call, and I just wondered, is there an opportunity to have that up on the website or is it already on the website? Mr. Carrera?
So through you, Madam Mayor, so the report itself will be publicly available on the council agenda. We haven't posted it separately, but we could do that.
Thank you for that. D2, the 2024 accessibility status report. D3, the sole source procurement for the ice cart attachment on the utility vehicle. D4, the building permits issued Q4 2024. And D5, the municipal law activity for the first quarter of 2025. And then the bylaw E, that would be the bylaw as is on the screen. Questions or comments? Councillor Waters.
Thank you, Your Worship. Wasn't much there to read, so I'm just asking for clarification. What is it actually talking about? Since there's not, I couldn't figure it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Waters. Mr. Montgomery.
Through your worship to Councillor Waters, it's a transfer internally within the Friday Harbor Development Group from one part of the development group to the other of the operations building that's already there.
This won't have any implications for future requests from Friday Harbor in terms of heights and
and what they want to do there?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Sounds like a little bit of housekeeping there, Councillor Waters. All right, item F, there's no correspondence for action. G1, the Innisfil Library Board minutes. G2, the Police Services Board minutes. G3, a proclamation for Earth Day, a day late. G4, National Day of Mourning, April the 28th. G5, a proclamation for Building Safety Month. And G6, a proclamation for National Youth Week. G7, a proclamation for World Maternal Mental Health Day. G8, a proclamation for Children's Mental Health Week. And G9, a proclamation for Canadian Mental Health Association. And that's everything. So there's been no motions of which notice has been given. And so now we'll go to the consent list continued. So that was only one item pulled. And mover and a seconder, please. Move.
Deputy Mayor seconded?
No, this is just the consent list recommendation, and then I'm going to. So Councillor Waters and Councillor Richardson, all those in favor? That is carried. And a motion to resolve into committee of the whole, please. Deputy Mayor Fowler, Councillor Constantine, all those in favor? That is carried. Pass it to you.
All right, Councillor Waters has pulled this. I will be seconding the motion here, pulling it. We're putting this on the floor at the moment. So anything anybody wishes to say, Councillor Ices, Councillor Waters, the floor is yours.
I just want to say I appreciate the staff looking after the financial resources of the town in terms of how we spend our money and the implications this might have. However, I disagree with its conclusion and at minimum would request that we at least do a pilot project for a year, see what the costs are, and then have this debate again at the end of next year.
Councillor Ices.
Thank you, Deputy. Yes, I agree with Councillor Waters, and I also want to thank the people that came out to talk in open forum. The Legions are really a strong part of the community, and staff is not doing anything intentional against the Legion, but they are there to protect our finances and not to create a precedent where every group that is in Innisfil wants a transit stop. So I have no problem supporting this transit stop because there is only one Legion. And that would not be we can't duplicate them in any way in other parts of the town. So that argument, I think council can definitely stand behind. I would support a motion if Councillor Waters wants to do a trial year just to make sure our finances are looked after if he so wishes.
Thank you, Councillor Ices. I would fully support both the councillors in this motion if they were to put this forward. There's something that we're not asking for a regular hub. You got to take into account that if you go to any resident and say, look, we're taking care of our veterans, the people that go out on the global stage and represent Canada, they're the face of Canada on the global stage. So when they come home, they need the support the Legion gives. They need the events. It's also community-based. It has children's events. It has mental health supports. It has dinners all year round for all the different occasions. This is not just an ask. This is asking to take care of those who have taken care of us. And I will always stand behind our armed forces, and this is the best way to do it. Put it forth for a year, put it out as a pilot project, and if it comes back favorably, then let's make it permanent. Let's do this. Let's support the people that went outside Canada to represent Canada. Let's support our seniors. Let's support the children that they give comfort to with the events and the ability to find community. I fully support this moving forward if we can put it forward. So would you like to make an amendment, Councillor Waters?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. As this motion was moved and seconded, and we are in committee of the whole, I believe that you should vote this motion down, and then a revised recommendation should be put on the floor based on the language that Councillor Waters has suggested.
So then we'll have our vote. Call the vote. All right, motion's defeated. So now we move forward with the revised recommendation.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. We have some wording on the screen. You might want to check in with staff if that is acceptable.
Is this feasible, Mr. Guerrero?
Through the mayor, so I just wanted to clarify that the motion would be for a transit hub versus one of the options in the report was a voucher. Staff would prefer that if council does want to make this motion, that it's piloted as a voucher program. One of the fundamental reasons why is we can target that specifically to seniors and veterans, whereas a transit hub would apply to really anyone in the vicinity. So in terms of cost control and also ensuring it does its intended purposes of helping people access the Legion, helping seniors and veterans, we believe that a voucher program would be better serving. Now, what I would say, because there was a comment made earlier, is the voucher would not be something you would have to download or come to town hall to collect or renew. It can be pushed through an email directly to the applicant's Uber app, and it would function very much like a transit hub. However, we could assign it individually to seniors, veterans, and people looking to access the Legion specifically. And so in terms of the motion, I would just ask council to clarify if their intent is that we pilot the hub or what staff's preference would be to pilot a voucher program for 1 year.
My understanding is that we're looking at a hub, not a voucher program at this moment in time, due to the fact that the Legion also services their youth and provides them a safe space, which is something that we need in a growing community. So to deny them access to a place where they could grow together as a community, I think would be unfair and create extra work for the town, which I think is not applicable at this moment in time. If either Councillor Ices or Waters would like to add to the point.
As a hub, can we, is there any way to differentiate in terms of who's using it, or it's just open?
Through Mayor Dolan and Councillor Waters, we could not differentiate between the users, so it'd be anyone traveling to or from that destination would have access to it. So in terms of the financial impact, page 4 of the report does sort of break down the two different options. We see the hub as costing likely between 12 and 20,000, although that is our best estimate, whereas a voucher would be between 6,000 and 9,000 annually. What I would say is we do have some gas tax reserves that could help us fund this without a tax implication. However, it would take our reserve, if not very close to zero.
Are there any financial implications for seniors using it in terms, does it cost more to use than the it being designated as a hub?
That's a good question. So the way we've positioned the report, the voucher would be a $7 discount. So if they're coming from a far distance, it could be a less of a subsidy than a transit hub. If they're coming from fairly close by, then it would be equal to or equal to the transit hub subsidy.
Councillor Ices?
Thank you, Deputy. With regards to a voucher program, who would be in charge of handing or distributing those vouchers?
Through Mayor Dolan to Councillor Ices, it would be planning staff that would assign the voucher. And we can do it in such a way that it's pushed directly to their app. And if council goes down this path, we would be more than willing to have someone attend the Legion to show them exactly how the voucher works. But it should work seamlessly as if they're using an Innisfil Transit Hub trip. It should be very similar experience. It'd be staff that assigns the actual vouchers.
Follow-up, Councillor Estes?
I guess that if I had a preference, if there was a way for the Legion to be able to distribute the vouchers with some reporting mechanism, just to keep some of their independence on that, and to have it maybe less of a process for them. I don't know if that's an option that could be considered.
Mr. Carrera?
Through Mayor Dolan, it's something we could take back with Uber, but at this point in time, my understanding is it would need to be staff administrated in terms of just ensuring that it's appropriately and applicably applied.
And Councillor Waters?
Since we're doing this for Legion, and I'm not too sure this is, I can authorize this, but I wouldn't mind hearing an opinion from one of the representatives in terms of what their preference would be.
Ms. Doyle?
So my preference would be this and not a voucher, only because voucher, yes, for a senior, but for a youth coming to our dart night, to give them, we don't know, like they show up and they would be using technology. They wouldn't be using a voucher unless we have to advertise and keep track as a voucher. So I myself don't know how the voucher works, so I'm more of on this. So I don't know, like how does the voucher work as far as you give us the vouchers and then we have to reach out to our membership to let them know the vouchers?
So if I may, the voucher would be assigned through the Uber app and it would show up like an Innisfil transit trip. So there'd be no paper, you wouldn't have to sign it, necessarily scan any QR codes. The town could assign the voucher via your email address or whoever's getting that voucher. And when you open your Uber app, it would be one of the available Innisfil transit trips that you can take. It would show up automatically. And it's something we can even set up to automatically renew so that you don't have to go through a process every month or every few months. We could customize it, which is one of the benefits of a voucher program.
So if Johnny is wanting to go to dart night, how does he, so he just goes on and gets the voucher? I guess I need training too, because I don't know how it works.
So, I mean, the report's predicated on it being utilized by seniors and veterans. So anyone who has the voucher, it would work directly through your app. If a youth named Johnny was to receive the voucher, we would probably want council direction that it would go beyond veterans and seniors, but it would work the same if whoever gets access to the voucher, it would work right directly through the Uber app.
I guess the thing is too, is that we have events that happen. So if there's a future event and they're trying to they want to go that night, I don't know if they could get the voucher knowing that they can get it.
Ms. Doyle, our CEO would like to speak on the matter.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Just a suggestion. I think, if council just wants to focus on what objective you're trying to achieve here, if the goal is really simplicity of administration and maximizing access to the Legion, then I think the transit hub is the better approach, recognizing that will cost more money. If council wants to focus its financial support to seniors and veterans, there is a mechanism to do that, which is the voucher approach. So I think it's really up to you which approach you'd like to take.
If I may, before Councillor Waters, I don't like getting down into the weeds of things and overcomplicating. I think Councillor Waters had a good idea initially. Just make it a hub, make it a pilot project. If it comes back that it's $26,000, and the community asks, we can say, literally, we're supporting our veterans and our Legion and the good they do with our youth. At that point, we can scale it back and review it at that point in time once the report comes in. So at this point in time, I'm myself, I'm thinking the simplest way forward is just the hub, and then we revisit it after the fact. Councillor Waters and Councillor Ices.
I agree. I think the hub, it's a one-year pilot project. We can revisit it in 1 year, see what the costs are. I think the other way just introduces too many complications. And I think if there are other individuals using the Legion during the evening, that they should all have equal access. So I think I like it the way it is right now and would be okay with this.
Councillor Ices.
Thank you, Deputy. Just maybe recognizing staff's concern over the cost of the hub versus the voucher. I wonder if the mover and the seconder would entertain a friendly amendment to move the pilot project back to 6 months instead of a year.
Thank you, Councillor Ices. I'm kind of cautious about that because during the summer months they have more events, but they have the steady teen night darts for the teens. They have the coffee with the first responders for mental health support. They do a lot of things all year round. I don't know if we get a proper window into this if we just cut it back to 6 months.
My only reason for recommending that, just because we would have a smaller window to analyze the cost. And so that if we get to the full year and it performs the way we think it should, recognizing the goals that CEO Gershow mentioned, we have a quicker time to adjust if we find it's not performing. And it's more of a cost to the town based on some of those factors we can't control.
Councillor Waters.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the concern. I just don't think 6 months, by the time you get it up and running and people get used to it, 2 months have passed already. So now you're down to 4 months. And I just think, a year allows for both summer and winter opportunity to analyze, what the proper usage is going to be. It's after 1 year, if it's costing us $100,000, yes, it's going to be a rethink. And I think the town, and according to comments from staff, that they do have some tax money available that could cover some of those costs. So I think the financial implications can be relatively low for a year. So I think I would just keep it the way it is right now and let it go for a year and see what happens.
Thank you, Councillor Waters. Although if it reached $100,000 a year, I'm pretty sure the Legion would be busting at the seams. Okay, so the consensus appears to be that we're looking at the 1 year pilot project. So we've had the discussion. I'm going to call the vote. So all those in favor as the recommendation as it stands? It has been carried. Thank you very much. Madam Mayor, back to you.
Thank you. Next, we will do the RISE recommendation, please, moved by Councillor Drodge, seconded by Councillor Richardson. All those in favor? That's carried. And next is the adoption of the recommendations from Committee of the Whole. I just want to check with the clerk. Am I all right to be part of this if that Committee of the Whole report, it was the pecuniary interest item?
I believe the recommendation says they've been deemed not to have voted. Or is that the consent list?
That's the consent list.
Yeah, actually, it would probably be better if the 3 council members who participated looked after this section.
All right, then. Consideration to have recommendations from Committee of the Whole, moved by Councillor Ices, seconded by Councillor Waters. All those in favor? And that has been carried. Thank you.
Thank you. We have no notices of motion this evening, and we will go to announcements. And I'll ask Councillor Ices.
Thank you, Your Worship. We have a few here on April the 28th. There's a volunteers tea and social event at 6 p.m. at the Risardo Center. Also on April 26th, there's a blooming spring market at the Stroud Community Center from 9 to 4. And I'd also like to note that we lost a member of our community on April 4th. Rita Ayers passed. Rita Ayers was the wife of Vern Ayers, a longtime volunteer fireman. Also, that would be a sister-in-law to Wayne Ayers, another long-time volunteer fireman, and also the mother of one of our members of the fire service, Brad Ayers. So Rita also worked as a mail carrier for Canada Post for 34 years. She was active with the Stroud Curling Club, and she was known for selling her farm fresh eggs right up until the day that she was admitted to the hospital. So we'll keep the Ayers family in our thoughts.
Thank you, Councillor Ices. Councillor Constantine. No announcements. Councillor Richardson.
We have on Saturday, this Saturday coming up is the second annual Comic Fest at the Innisfil Idea Lab and Library. I believe it's at noon is a Mario Kart race. So all you gamers, you can go check that out. On May 2nd is the first anniversary of Teen Nights happening at the library. On May 3rd, you can come and have coffee with us members of council from 11 till 1 at the Innisfil Idea Lab and Library. On May the 8th, I get to attend to see Frozen Junior at St. Francis of third play that I get to see at St. Francis of Assisi. Those kids do an amazing job on that play, and I'm really excited to check that out. Also on May 8th at 3:30 is Get to Know Your Local Government session. I attended that last year when it was happening, and it was really great and informative, and it was really great for the kids to come and hear a little bit more about what municipal government can do for them. And then lastly, coming up on May the 10th is Pitch-In Day. So Ward 3 residents, make sure you sign up, and let's get that golden broom back.
Thank you. Councillor Waters.
Thank you, Your Worship. This month in Ward 4, Lions Club is really quite busy. On April 25th, Euchre Night at 7 p.m. On May 3rd, fundraising car wash from 9 to 11 a.m. in the morning. And then on May 4th, Kids Bingo, 11 till 1 p.m. And then on May 7th, Family Game Night at 7 p.m. So Lions Club has a lot going on in the next month or so. And last but not least, on May 22nd, it's Neighborhood Nights in my ward, Ward 4. So I look forward to seeing everyone. I assume it will be at Innisfil Beach Park. So I look forward to seeing residents there and staff there with an entertaining evening for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Saunders.
Friday Harbor had their Easter weekend last week, and it was really busy despite the weather. Their egg decorating and their Build-A-Bunny was crazy, and their annual Easter egg hunt was just off the roof. Sandy Cove, on the heel of their ice storm, had their emergency preparedness weekend, and it was attended by over 300 residents, so it's kind of bittersweet after the big ice storm. The Legion this Sunday has youth darts. Starting May 15th, they have a summer cornhole league at 6:30 registration and 7 o'clock play will start. And May 1st, they have an open house, so you can try some cornhole on that day as well.
Thank you. Councillor Drodge.
Thanks, Your Worship. April 26th at the Guildford Hall, there's a euchre tournament going on starting at 7 o'clock. On April 30th, the Guildford United Church is doing a chicken dinner from 5 to 7. On May 10th, there's a spring fling going on at the Churchill United Church from 9 to 2 p.m. And on May 8th is the 80th anniversary VA Day at the Legion, and it will be illuminated in red and white.
Thank you very much. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Worship. On April 26th, we have a driveway pop-up market on Beach Avenue, if anybody is interested and out and about. On May 3rd, we have the grand opening of the Cookstown Pharmasave. They're inviting anyone who wishes to pop by over the morning and the early afternoon to come by and see what they're doing. On May 10th, Color Inspired Art Studio is having a student art contest. That's actually really incredible. You got to see some of the artwork these kids do. They're phenomenal. And on May 13th, the Community Planning Permit System Open House will be held in our community rooms at Town Hall. Thank you.
Thank you. What a busy spring we're having. I just want to take a moment because this is our very first meeting since the ice storm. So I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank the hard work of so many during the recent storm. In Power Corporation, in services who kept our water and wastewater operating on generators. Of course, our operations teams who did a fabulous job clearing our roads and also double whammy flooding during the ice storm, which made it extra exciting. Our library pitched in and created warming centers for our residents. Our fire and police had record-breaking occurrences during that time. So really, it was a team effort. And when I talked to my colleagues at the county, I realized how fortunate we were we were in a much better position than some to get everybody back and running quickly. And I think that had to do with the teamwork, having the roads crew, the arborist, and the hydro crews working as a team to clear each road, whereas in other parts of the county, they had the road crews there, but they couldn't go in because the hydro crews hadn't gone in to energize the lines yet. So really proud of the team effort. Premier Ford and Minister Flack and Minister Khanjin came by to thank all of the workers on April the 4th, which was very much appreciated by our hardworking team. And also Minister Kersner came by and thanked the firefighters and also the police the following week as well. We conducted our debrief, as we always do, with our CEM, our Community Emergency Management Coordinator, after any emergency, and figure out what worked well, what didn't work well, what we could do better. And we always learn from those. So a big thank you to all of council and communications. It's really the entire team. We know communications works extra hard. I know councillors got a lot of phone calls and emails, and so everybody was doing double duty, including our senior management. So thank you on behalf of the community. It ended with CTV Barrie report update with Sarah Freemark on the news last week, where I was able to highlight not only the bad news, but some of the good news too, and the heartwarming stories of neighbors helping neighbors throughout the event, because that's what we do in Innisfil. We help each other out in times of crisis. So I wanted to also acknowledge Mike Symes. He's our fire prevention officer. He has retired, and we had a little event for him, and I forget what they're called, but they do that last call on the radio, and it's so touching. I mean, I cry when I hear it on social media when I don't even know the person who's retiring. So it was extra emotional when it was Mike, and I very much enjoyed that. I also really enjoyed attending Cheryl Sutton's retirement party, and there were police officers there from all over Ontario. So she's very, very well respected. We had the grand opening in Stroud of Ontario Women's Health, which is a wonderful couple of doctors that have moved here from Barrie, thank you. A gynecologist obstetrician, as well as a fertility clinic, is operating there now. The fertility clinic has patients coming from as far as Sault Ste. Marie, so we're really glad to have them here. A few things coming up. Monday, Election Day. Really thrilled to see the turnout and the engagement in this federal election, and I hope that carries on for next year's municipal election. Love to see voter turnout go up like that and see people engaged in our democracy. April 28th to May 2 is Smile Cookie Week at Tim Hortons, so there's lots of charities that can benefit from wherever you buy your Smile cookies. There'll be the Innisfil Food Bank, the Sunny Brace Public School, and the Innisfil Idea Lab and Library. A few of us are attending the Ontario Small Urban Municipal Conference next week in Collingwood. And we have a couple of really great speakers. One of them from, I can't remember of the name, Oxford Economics, again on tariff talk, but lots of great content that is specifically designed for small urban municipalities. And on May 3rd, we have Coffee with Council, and we hope to get a good number of people out there. Bring your questions, bring your grievances, bring your interest in running in the next election so we can tell you how you can do that. And then my last comment is also, we've lost another legend in Innisfil. On April the 5th, I attended a service for Jim Curry. Jim Curry was the barber in Cookstown for 42 years. He cut 4 generations of hair in many families. He charged $7 a cut. And just a real good common sense kind of guy. And, you know, my kids grew up walking past his door. He always had a gumdrop for them. Anyway, our condolences to Martha, his wife Martha, and his sons Neil and Mark. Neil runs the Smith Lumber in Cookstown now. And it was a really touching service. I will miss his common sense. And he served on Cookstown Council for 3 or 4 terms. And when I first decided to run, he was my first person I went to visit. So really miss him. And those are my announcements. So with that, I go to CEO Gershow.
Thank you, Mayor Dolan. Just want to take the opportunity to ensure council and the community are aware that we are currently recruiting new board members for all 3 of Innisfil's utility companies, InPower, InServices, and Enterprises. Council will recall that you'd previously approved the expansion of each of those boards, so we have new positions to fill. So there are 2 vacancies on each of those 3 boards, and we are working with a professional recruitment company called Odgers Berndsen to conduct that recruitment process. So the ad is up and running on the Odgers website. We'll make sure that gets up on the town website tomorrow. Applications are being invited for all of those positions until May 9th, and we expect the appointment of new directors to be made at the annual general meetings of the utility companies, which will be here in this chamber on June 25th. So, thank you.
Thank you, CEO Gershow. Any other announcements? Seeing none, the confirmatory and adjournment, please, at 8:07, moved by Councillor Drodge, seconded by Councillor Richardson. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you, everyone, for your attendance tonight, and thanks for all of the work staff did on all these reports. Have a good evening.